Hello friends, my name is JD and I am a big tea enthusiast. Now, a majority of you guys who follow me know that I brew my tea in a vessel like this, which is known as a gaiwan, which is a simple tea bowl with a lid and a saucer. But in this video, I wanted to discuss teacup theory. I will be showing you guys several basic shapes of various teacups. So this is one of your basic teacup shapes in Asian culture, which is commonly referred to as the tulip shape, mainly due to the flare at the rim. Now, some of the cons of this shape, and here's another one for comparison, that is a lot taller, more skinnier, and the flares are more dramatic, right? This one is double-walled, so the inside is a little bit smaller than what the outside is. But the flaws with this design are that when you have a more dramatic flare to the side, a wider cup like this, the narrow base can be easily toppled over. So that is just one thing you have to look out for while drinking from this cups. The pros of this cup is that due to the flare around the edges of the rim, it is very comfortable to sip from, having your lip rest on this indentation. So that is design number one. Another shape you may come across is your typical bowl shape, which tend to be fairly shallow most of the time. This one does have a narrow base, and because the top is wider, really a lot more easier to topple over. But these more shallow bowls are very, very useful for sipping. So there's a theory of when you drink tea, you should slurp the tea from the rim. And incorporating that air while you drink your tea is going to help you experience better flavors of tasting your tea. So these shallow cups, here's another example, which is also typically known as a hat shaped, because if you turn it over, it looks just like a traditional, the bamboo hats that they would wear in the fields, in the tea fields. These two cups tend to be very shallow and more wider at the top. They tend to topple over fairly easy because of the narrow bases. But these cups are actually perfect for sipping your tea from the rim. So because of that, the tasting experience is going to be really, really nice. Additionally, as you're pouring your hot tea, because the tops are wider, the tea liquid will typically cool off a lot quicker. So if you're looking to have a quick sip and not wait as long for your tea to cool down when you pour it from your teapot, then these are the cups for you. Also, it's really good for controlling your portions, enjoying smaller sips of tea at a time. Here's another dramatic shape for you guys. Now, you would think it would be a tulip shape, but you'll notice that the base is actually a lot wider and more dramatic than the rim is. The rim is smaller. And so because of that, because of its girth in this section, it is actually referred to as the Buddha belly shape. Now, this is one of my favorite cups to drink from as a shape style because there is the theory of the aromas and fragrance of the tea as well as your overall tasting experience. So because the rim is smaller, when you sip from this cup, your nose is forced to the inside of the cup, getting a better sense of the aromas from your tea. Additionally, with the base being so wide, it is very base heavy, so it's very hard to topple over. It's a solid cup, but because it's a solid cup, it is also more heavier in weight. So it is a very dramatic shape. It is a very beautiful shape. When you want to smell your tea, it's a really, really good drinking experience to use this shape. But again, it is very large capacity, and it is very heavy. So that is just one thing to consider if you want to use this shape of teacup. And here we have another bowl-shaped cup. The name of this shape escapes me, I am sorry, but you'll notice a big difference in the rim of this cup compared to the others, where the rim actually curves inward instead of outward. This is another very thick-walled cup. It's really good at maintaining the temperature of your tea and keeping it warm. But because, again, the rim is wider than the base, it tends to wobble a little bit. But because it is thicker and heavier, it is very solid. I'm very confident when drinking from this when I'm doing other activities, such as painting. The only flaw that I would say, though, is that it's a bit uncomfortable to drink from this rim, particularly to sip from it. When you're drinking, you're forced to, because that rim curls in to the inside, you're forced to really swig back on this cup when you want to finish off your tea. But other than that, what I love about the feel of this is it's a really solid cup. There's a lot of weight to it, so you feel very confident when you're picking it up and setting it down. It's not going to be as delicate. And again, just maintaining the temperature of your tea if you're going to let it sit in the cup for a while. It doesn't get cold too fast. So these are just some of the various shapes of styles of teacups that you may come across, and a theory behind consuming your tea with these different shapes and sizes. Thanks for watching.